Most people celebrate the first $10,000, but they ignore the second $10,000. That is a mistake, because while the first 10K saves your life, the second 10K actually changes it. If you're grinding right now, you know the first 10K feels like pushing a boulder uphill. It is boring, it is painful, but that first 10K was just your shield. It was purely defensive. It was there to stop a car repair or a medical bill from ruining you. Today I want to talk about the second 10K, because getting from 10K to 20K is fundamentally different. If the first 10K was a shield, the second 10K is an engine. This is the specific tipping point where the math shifts, where your brain switches from fear to opportunity. Here is why everything changes even more after you hit that $20,000 mark. Let's start with the numbers, because this is where most people quit. When you have $1,000 saved, earning 7% interest gets you $70 a year. That's a tank of gas. It feels insignificant. It's hard to stay motivated when the reward is a pizza dinner. But at $20,000, the math changes from abstract to tangible. At a conservative 7% return, $20,000 generates $1,400 a year. That is roughly $116 every single month in pure passive income. Now, $116 doesn't sound like rich person money, but look at what it actually does. $116 pays for your high-speed internet. Done. It pays for your Netflix, Spotify, and Amazon Prime. Done. Think about that. By saving 20K, you haven't just saved money. You have permanently deleted those bills from your life. You effectively hired your first part-time employee, and their only job is to wake up every morning and pay your internet bill, so you don't have to. You are no longer lifting the weight alone. You finally have a spotter. The biggest change, however, isn't in the calculator. It's in your brain. When you have less than 10K, you are subject to the poor tax. Because you lack capital, you can't afford quality. You're forced to buy the cheap $40 work boots that fall apart in 6 months. Over 2 years, you buy 4 pairs and spend $160. You are bleeding money because you are poor. But when you cross the 20K threshold, you switch from defense to offense. You now have the capital to buy the $200 boots that last for 5 years. You spend more up front, but you save money in the long run. Your opportunity radar turns on. You can buy in bulk at Costco. You can prepay your car insurance for the whole year to get that 10% discount. The first 10K stops you from drowning. The second 10K allows you to start building the boat. You stop making decisions based on fear and start making decisions based on optimization. Perhaps the most underrated superpower of hitting $20,000 is what it does to your job. When you have zero savings, you smell like desperation. If your boss is toxic or denies you a raise, you have to take it. You have zero leverage because you need that next paycheck to survive next week. But $20,000 is roughly 6 months of freedom for the average person. This creates walking away power. When you walk into a salary negotiation, knowing you could survive for half a year without this job, your entire energy changes. You aren't begging, you're negotiating. You can look them in the eye and say, "I'd love to make this work, but I need X amount to stay." The bitter irony of finance is that people who need the money the least are often offered the most. Your second 10K doesn't just grow through interest. It grows because it gives you the confidence to demand what you are actually worth. If you are currently grinding through that first 0 to 10K phase, do not give up. It is the hardest part of the entire journey. But the path from 20K to 100K, it is shocking how much faster it happens. You have momentum, you have passive income deleting your bills, and you have career leverage pushing you forward. The first 10K was the price of admission. The second 10K is where the ride actually begins. So, are you building your shield, or are you revving your engine? Tell me in the comments. Keep climbing. I'll see you in the next one.